Hello, everyone, and welcome back to English Cozy Chat, where we have easy chats about all kinds of fun topics. I am your host, Maria, and today we are going to be talking about air conditioning. I know this topic was a little bit random. Sometimes on this podcast, I will be talking about topics which are well thought out and structured. And other times, I may talk about kind of random topics that I just have on my mind. And this episode on air conditioning is definitely one of those random topics. But in this moment, which is summertime for me, air conditioning is a very relevant topic. And I find the differences very interesting between the air conditioning culture and habits in the US versus those in Europe. In the US, I bet 99% of the houses have air conditioning. Since the United States is a much newer country, most of the buildings are generally just newer. And having central air conditioning is a standard in all houses and buildings. Whereas in Europe, everything is just much older, and there are lots of older buildings that don't have air conditioning built in. So in these buildings, it is very typical to either not have air conditioning at all or have air conditioning units in houses or buildings. A huge difference that I notice in my house, we don't have central air conditioning. And when I say central air conditioning, I mean it's throughout the entire house. There's usually a thermostat thing that lists the temperature, and you can control it, and it will control that temperature for parts of the house or the entire house. So in my house, we do not have that. We have air conditioning units in some of the rooms, but not all of them. For us, it's not really a problem because when we leave our windows open, there's always a nice breeze that comes through. So, unless it's a really, really hot day, we usually don't have to use it. But whenever I go back to the US, I'm just not used to having cold air on me all the time. I know that's where I was raised, and that's how I used to always be. But now that I'm from a place that doesn't typically have a lot of air conditioning, I'm really not used to it anymore. In the US, where my family lives, for example, if you stay inside on a really hot day, you won't even know that it's hot. I know lots of Europeans who are not used to air conditioning and that have told me that when they went to the US, being in the air conditioning actually makes them feel a little bit sick. It's really crazy to think, especially if you are an American, because it's something that we are so used to. But when you're not used to it, a lot of people really don't like it. And many people in Spain say that it gives them a cough. So a lot of people may even have it in their house, but they choose not to use it because it makes them cough. In Spain, on a really hot day, where most people don't have air conditioning, you will definitely know it's a hot day. In the US, also in some stores and restaurants, I find that they can be quite cold, even in the summer. Sometimes I go to places when it's really hot outside, and when I walk inside, I feel like I need a jacket. I'm not sure why they do this, but I find it kind of crazy to have such a huge temperature difference between the outside and the inside. I would say that I prefer the Spanish way of living. I have really gotten used to not using air conditioning so much. I truly like feeling the seasons a bit more. When it's hot outside, I like feeling a bit hot. It's fine with me if I have to wear less clothes and maybe I'm sweating a little bit. For me, that's okay because it's summer after all. I would have to say that it is very hard to sleep on really hot nights without air conditioning. And in the US, you will never have that problem. Please let me know your thoughts about air conditioning in the comments. Where you live, do you have air conditioning? Do you prefer to use air conditioning or do you not prefer to use air conditioning? I would love to know all about it. Thank you so much for being here, and I cannot wait to see you in the next episode. I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.